Chapter 8.5 Selfie Therapy. I will admit that I wrote Chapter 9 before I wrote Chapter 8.5, but you didn't need to know that, so forget I typed it. Chapter 8.5 was planned from the beginning. I was like, nobody has half chapters. I'm going to be the first person ever to talk about selfie therapy in a half chapter. And here we are. Much of what I do now, like coaching, presenting, writing a book, making videos, connecting with people for real, or speaking from my heart, require me to face many fearful emotions that I used to carry for the first time, which can be scary. There are times when we don't know how to express these feelings in a certain situation, or feel we don't have anyone non-judgmental enough to talk to about what we might be feeling at that moment, and we may end up suppressing our emotions and forget about them until they show up unexpectedly. So, when the idea hit me to keep recording and keep talking into my phone after many long do-overs while I was making a video for the Be Higher Beings channel on YouTube, I saw an opportunity that I hadn't seen before. I had some great ideas for a YouTube video, but every time I made the video, the ideas would eventually run together in my head and sound like nonsense coming out of my mouth, and then I would have to start over. I don't write things down, or rehearse them very often, because I like the natural flow of the moment to shine. But when the ideas all try to come out at once, it interrupts the flow, and there is no shine. This might be common, and it's cool to restart if I'm 30 seconds in, but in this case, I went over 10 minutes 6 or 7 times in a row and was getting really frustrated. I unconsciously started beating myself up and getting down on myself for failing, which was funny when I became aware of this, because most of the video was about how to not beat ourselves up so much. I sat with my eyes closed for a while, took a few deep breaths, and finally decided that it didn't matter if I failed, because I knew that failure is all in my mind, and this was only a YouTube video. Go for failure and screw it all up, I told myself to give me a little confidence boost. Then I started recording and was feeling great about the video, until the flow got interrupted again, and I thought I'd have to start over. This time, instead of stopping and going through that frustration the same way again, I gave up on the notion of posting it and just kept recording. When I did, I felt myself stop trying to unconsciously get it right for my audience and began speaking deeply from my heart to myself, to the space I was in, to the universe, to God, and it was all being recorded. For a little over an hour I cried, I laughed, I screamed, I got angry, I got happy, I got sad, I felt helpless, I felt vindicated, I felt victimized, I felt through whatever emotion showed up, and I even punched myself in the face in a weird moment. Talk about vulnerability. All of this while talking through the true feelings that were showing up in the right here and now, with nobody but me to judge anything. It felt an awful lot like the moment in the mirror that I experienced a few years previous. Only now, I saw it as an exercise that I can do whenever I wanted to help me heal whatever emotions that are ailing inside of my body. I felt like a genius because I just opened the door to talk through and record whatever I'm feeling at any time, and then go back and observe myself when there is less chaos. They do it in sports all the time, why not in life? We'll record our golf swing so we can perfect it, so why not record our most vulnerable selves saying our truest statements in real time, with the ability to go back to observe what we made? The opportunity to see ourselves in this manner and learn who we are on a deeper level is available right now, and we already have the equipment in our pockets to do it. If you've ever gone to a therapist and bullshitted your way through the conversations because, even though they're your therapist, the stuff you had to share was just too weird or deep, or you thought they wouldn't understand, selfie therapy allows you to speak honestly and authentically with yourself, and actually see the truth of who you're being when you're saying what you're saying. Plus, it's free. Imagine what you could learn about who you really are while you're observing your authentic rant, complete with a full spectrum of emotions. Let's say you catch your own self in a lie or hear yourself speak a truth that you didn't even know you said. How fucking powerful would that be in your life to know what your patterns and emotions look and feel like coming out of your face? You have the opportunity to say what you want to say and not have anybody judge what comes out of your mouth except for you. Our only requirement in this is to be completely vulnerable and honest with ourselves, which may take some practice because you might be used to saying what you think people want to hear, like I was. Hopefully by now, you're seeing that in some way, everything we do is really just a practice, and that it's okay to be patient with ourselves. Selfie therapy allows us to set our own standards with ourselves, so we're not so easily swayed by someone else giving us information. It works great if you don't like what you look like while you're saying what you're saying, or what you hear, or how you feel when you see or hear yourself, because all you have to do is be open to the possibility that what you're saying in the video might not be the truth to you. You might catch yourself claiming something like, money is the root of all evil, and be able to transcend that limiting belief and change your outlook on life. You never know what you're going to find, but it's all personal growth. I have a couple ugly, crying, authentic me, selfie therapy videos that I posted on YouTube where snot is coming out of my nose and everything that are hugely vulnerable. They are meant to be permission for anyone that may be apprehensive about going deep with themselves like that, so people know they are fully supported. I use selfie therapy whenever I feel called to do it, meaning I don't use this as a ritual or a daily activity, but when there seems to be something that feels stuck inside, I know I can talk into my phone to learn and let go of whatever the bullshit machine is trying to protect. Use it however you wish. One way I like to begin is by putting my hand on my heart and repeating, "I love you," while surrendering the need to know what I'm going to say next. As I'm repeating, "I love you," my body will start speaking for me, and I'll begin to say and hear other phrases I didn't know I needed to hear, like, "Good job," "I love your ideas," "You're smart," and "I like you," which were all more important to hear for me than I thought they would be. When the mean and ugly stuff shows up, because it does, I just say it with compassion, and know that they're words that have been put there and allowed to stay by years of me being unwilling to let go of those lies. My acknowledging that they're there and doing it vocally is the act of letting go, and yes, it is a practice. There are no rules on how to do it or what to say. It's just you being honest and authentic with yourself so you can practice keeping your power and saying what you mean instead of saying what you think other people want to hear. It's a crazy effective way to transcend the feeling that you're not being heard or taken seriously by others because you're learning to have the confidence to be your true self and not what you think others want you to be. This is an easy tool to help us learn and understand what the hell we're talking about when we're stuck and to get past the old beliefs that may be subconsciously in the forefront of our minds sabotaging our plans. It's also a great way to use our phones for our benefit instead of using them for the little dopamine hits we get every time we see a notification. I also Googled selfie therapy, and it's not really a thing yet, so I'm counting this towards the made-up words in this book count. Let's look at another great way to use our phones in the next chapter.